What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going to talk about why Albania is the best country for Americans to move to in 2025. But before we get into that, smash like button. It costs you nothing, it means the world to me. Really helps me out with the algorithm. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get on to the topic at hand. But before we get into it, smash the like button, costs you nothing, means the world to me, really helps me out with the algorithm. And if you're interested in more content like this, then consider subscribing to the channel. Now, first and foremost, I want to say probably somewhere down below this video are going to be a couple links to YouTube videos that I recorded with my feet on the ground in a couple different cities in Albania, so you may want to check those out after you watch this video. So with that said, let's get on into the first reason that Americans are flocking to Albania, and that is because of the ease of access. And when I mean ease of access, I'm not talking about flights and things of that, but I'm talking about the actual ability to stay in the country long term. Now, many of you may or may not know that Albania has up to 1 year visa-free travel for American citizens, which is pretty much unheard of. So you can go there for up to a year without a visa. Most countries, you're either going to have to border hop, which gets a little bit dicey, or you're going to have to get things like temporary residency, permanent residency, or even citizenship, whether that's through investment or what may have you. So that is a massive boon for Albania and for Americans. That is easy to access and easy to stay there long term and plant roots. Now, next is going to be the extremely low cost of living, and you get relatively decent value for your money. In one of my other videos, I even went on Airbnb, and keep in mind, Airbnb has inflated prices, and you can get beachfront condos in prime locations for $350, $400, $450 US dollars per month in Albania on the beachfront. I'm from San Diego. In San Diego, beachfront, La Jolla, that is going to be costing you a ton of cash. And then obviously it extends from that. Gym prices are really good. Food prices are really good. I got a lot of really great meals because it's on the Mediterranean by Italy and Greece. And it's kind of like a mashup of both of those cuisines. It's really hard to describe, but the food is really, really good. And so you get a lot of value for your money. The one kind of drawback to it is that it's not going to be as developed as other places because of the extremely low cost of living, and because it is a country that has recently been making improvements, which means it's a good opportunity for you, especially if you're American or if you're possibly interested in investing, to get in on the ground level. Because a lot of people go to places when they're already popular, when they've already taken off, and then that is when people start to get priced out of the marketplace. So I don't want you to think that just because it has a low cost of living and you're getting relatively good value for your money that it's a perfect place, because by all means no place is really perfect, but it has a lot to offer. And that kind of leads me to the next thing, because when people think of low cost of living places, generally they're like, okay, what about my safety in these places? And I would say this: in Albania, you are going to have a very, very safe life or lifestyle, I suppose. And I've told this story before. When I was in Albania, I was out at all different times. I was going out, getting into shenanigans, and you would see single girls, like not like relationship wise, I don't know their relationship status, but you would see like solo females walking home at night at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., or walking wherever they're going. I guess I just assume they're walking home, but they could be walking to a friend's house or what may have you, or for a sneaky link. Who knows? But that was not that uncommon. And the reason I noticed this is because if local women are comfortable walking by themselves at those hours of night, that generally means that they aren't worried about any shenanigans happening, and that is a generally positive reflection on the safety level of that country. So, as many of you know, that's going to tick a lot of the primary boxes that I talk about: safety, cost of living, quality of life, and then ease of access, all ticked by this one country. Then, from there, let's go ahead and talk about the locals. So, generally, the younger end of the population has decent levels of English. I would say over about 50-55 is when the level of English is kind of hit or miss. But younger than that, decent level of English, and the people are extremely, extremely welcoming and friendly to foreigners, especially Americans, because I mean, I only know as an American, but they're interested, curious as to why you're in their country. They're going to give you suggestions, they're going to give you ideas of things to do, they're going to tell you places you should go check out, they're going to go recommend other places, and there's none of that gringo go home sentiment, digital nomad go home. They are welcoming, and that is a really nice change of pace from some of these other places like Medellin, Colombia, where you see gringo go home, foreigner go home, because everyone is getting priced out of the market. So it's really cool when people are interested in you, interested in interacting with you, and telling you more about their culture, their country, and everything that they have to offer. Now, finally, to wrap up this list, and I would say it's one of the more important things, is it is in an absolutely amazing location. Whether you want to have access to a place like Italy or Greece or North Macedonia or Serbia or Poland or the Baltic states or Spain or Portugal, it's a really good central hub with really good connectivity at the Tirana airport for the most part to other places in Europe. And so that is actually something that is really interesting to me, is how you could choose to live in Albania for 9 months, and then during the summer you could maybe go to 3 months in Lithuania or Estonia or Bulgaria or Slovenia or some of these other places that you may be interested in at different times of the year. And once again, due to this amazing location, guess what? They have an amazing climate. So they have mild winters and warm, but not overly warm summers. So don't expect like 40 degree like Celsius, so like 100 and 105 plus degree summers. It's going to be maybe up to 85, 90, kind of depends on where you are interested in being, which there's two main cities. So Tirana is the main city and Durrës is the other one. And then you have other places along the beautiful coastline, obviously, that you could check out. If I were personally going to move to Albania, it would probably be Durrës, just because I like bigger cities, and I think it's a little bit cleaner than Tirana, if I'm being 100% objective, although there's probably slightly more to do in Tirana. And the nightlife, if that's something that interests you, isn't actually that bad. I was pleasantly surprised by the nightlife options. Now, it's not like Belgrade, Serbia, or some of the other places you probably heard of, but it has a decent enough nightlife. Now, with all that said, probably going to wrap up the video here, because I think I've touched on pretty much everything that would be of note to most of you. I guess one other thing that may be a concern for some of you is going to be the healthcare. Now, as I talked about previously, Albania is on the rise, and so the infrastructure specifically for healthcare probably isn't to the level that some older people would probably be interested in. And I know a lot of Albanians actually do medical tourism to places like Greece and Italy, and because they have superior healthcare. And so if you were probably on the older end of the spectrum and had some severe issues, that might be a consideration for you. But they do have a growing like private healthcare sector, and over time it's probably going to improve. But I personally don't have any experience with the healthcare systems, so I couldn't really give you an in-depth look into how that actually is. So I would definitely do more research if Albania is interesting to you and you're probably on the older end of the age spectrum. But otherwise, I think that covers about everything I wanted to talk about. So if you have any comments, leave those down below. Does Albania seem interesting to you, or is Albania a pass for you? Let me know. And if you've been to Albania, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, peace. Much love.